But let's talk about the other big abuse of power and loss of trust and faith in politicians. And that is, of course, all the revelations around Anthony Albanese, the allegations regarding the Qantas Chairman's Lounge. So I'll be talking about this fittingly in Clown Show later in the show. But the idea that all the political class have been rushing around, getting these upgrades, picking up the phone to Alan Joyce or whoever it is, hey, I'd like an upgrade on my flight to wherever. This has become a big scandal, rightly so, Rita.
It has, and it's, again, shows you how out of touch, elitist, entitled these politicians have become. And someone like Anthony Albanese, who's built his entire political brand around, I grew up in a housing commission flat with my mum, and I've come from very humble beginnings. I understand people going through a cost of living crisis, a housing crisis. Well, not really, it seems. He's accustomed to the finer things in life, particularly if someone else is paying. And he likes the pointy end of the plane. Who doesn't? And when you talk about these upgrades, it's not a matter of a few $100s. These are significant sums of money. When you purchase, say, a one-way ticket, say, Sydney to Hong Kong, Singapore, and you want to sit at the pointy end, the cost can be 10 times, 8 times
absolutely
what it is in economy. So it's a huge, and when you're talking about personal travel, when you're talking about trips with the family and everyone's getting upgraded, we're talking about a lot of money here.
Well, Jason Clare, one of Albo's ministers, spoke this morning on Sky about this very issue. It appears all the politicians are now suddenly going, I remember that upgrade.
Yeah, that
let's
was
have
nice.
a listen.
That was a personal trip. That was a situation where I had just got out of hospital. I had surgery on my leg, and yep, I asked for an upgrade. I was assisted by Qantas.
OK, fair enough. You can discuss that. But it is clear that many politicians on all sides of the political divide are suddenly looking very closely at their history, their flight history of upgrades and the lounge and everything else.
I was going to mention, Qantas uses that chairman's lounge really as an influence buying scheme. I'm not saying there's anything legally wrong with it. They can do what they like, but let's not mince words here. If you're a backbencher nobody's heard of, you get access. Every MP has access to the chairman's lounge, something that big stars, captains of industry, unnecessarily guaranteed. They have to be invited personally. It's the chairman's lounge. And that is, again, a big... you've got to question, when you accept that, does it impact your decision-making on this issue?
Well, of course, you're absolutely right to ask that question. We're going to go over to London in a second, but the key point there, Rita, is that it smacks of third world corruption, this special lounge, only certain people are allowed in. You don't know who's allowed in. You have to be mates with so-and-so to get in. It just reeks of kind of third world thing. Deals are done there. And as Rita says, what decisions are made to benefit potentially people like the board of Qantas or whatever? We saw the Qatar decision which was made, and people argued, was that influenced by the chairman's lounge favours, grace and favour system? Who knows? But those are the issues, again, the abuse of power and the lack of trust in politicians.